We're from JANKO. We just recorded an album called Eyes on Fire, and we're gonna chat a little bit about our process.
Are you talking to me? Or are you talking to my brother? Don't know who you're trying to reach.
Brad and I started this band, but we were kind of toying with the idea for a while in 2016 towards the end of the year. And we were watching one of our favorite local bands. And I just walked up to Brad and said to him, yes, we need to start a band. So that was at the end of, in November in 2016. And we just started. I wrote a song in December when I was on holiday, recorded a demo, sent it to Brad, and we kind of bounced ideas back and forth over the holiday. And then in Jan, when we all came back from holidays, we got together and wrote that song.
Yeah.
That actually turned out to be...
It's now called Guilty.
It's now called Guilty, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then it was kind of like, it wasn't actually difficult. It was Brad and I writing music for the first 2 months around. We just got together, jammed, wrote music.
Then, since Lev and I had been like jamming, we started getting more serious about it, and we realized that we need a drummer at the time. Oh, well, we needed a drummer throughout.
Well, yeah,
We pretty much needed a drummer.
Yeah.
So then at the beginning of last year, we auditioned 2 drummers. It wasn't working, and Lev had just come out of a band with Gary actually, and we just kind of decided one night, sort of flippantly, like, why don't we just give like Gary a shot and see what comes of it. And he came in and killed the audition. It ended up being less of an audition and more of a jam session. I don't know if you remember, like afterwards. And in that time, like Gary was like kind of taking his drums back to the car, and Lev came to me right here and he was like, what do you think? And I was like, it's a no-brainer. Like, I don't know why we didn't think of it at the beginning. And it really was that sort of occasion where we were like, we don't know why we even like wasted time. If we just gave it some thought, we would have gone, oh, Gary is a perfect fit.
Look, I mean, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
You feel all warm and stuff.
And then
like,
you joined the band.
Yeah, like Lev and I were kind of coming out of an older band, and it kind of happened at the same time where it was clear that this old band wasn't going to continue in the way that it had been. And then sort of shortly after that, I mean, geez, I was so stoked to get in touch with Lev again. Obviously, we always hang out, but to talk seriously about
Gary
music
just wanted a gig.
Always push.
Definitely.
But yeah, it's been a real jewel.
Yeah. And that's the origin story.
Yeah. That's Frame JANKO in a nutshell.
It's a little bit better than Green Lantern's origin story.
You just got to make your mind up. No.
Make sure you get a shot of my pedal board. And then Lev's. For me, like the writing processes, I usually come here, there's a little bit of music to play with, and it kind of just does a little bit of a Tetris, and then we end up with a song.
Yeah.
That's pretty much exactly how it goes.
Cool. The main thing for us is that we need to jam the song before we start getting involved in recording demos or recording the song.
I think if you look at the way that we even recorded the album, we jammed and we even played some shows before we even got into the booth to start recording anything, and that kind of shows the process of how we operate as a band.
Yeah, in the end, like, I love that as a band we get together and take an idea and kind of expand on it and work on the aspects that each of us individually are better at working on. And then from there we go into studio, and then we structure it, and then we talk about the lyrics as a conversation, and I think that's been really, really, really rad.
So far, the only thing I'd like to see if there's another take is in that jazzy solo bit. Just see what works best. Cool solo. Yeah, other than that, I
And I think like lyrically, I like that we go for this approach where it's up to the the listener to kind of decide. So we don't settle on something that's like more obvious or even relatable to us personally. We'll rather go for something that's, wow, it could mean that, it could mean so many things, and there's the vibe in the song.
I think for me as well, the writing is, it's very important for me to write guitar parts that I can play and sing live, because it's one of the things that we really want to achieve is playing our music as close to the original as possible in a live setting.
I know we have a minimalist approach, and I love that. And I mean, going back to what you were saying vocally, I think it comes across as intentional, and I feel like that's how it should be.
Okay, 2018.
For me, like bigger shows, and I'm sure it means that for you as well.
Music video plans, big show plans. We've got some ideas that are brewing at the moment, so we're probably going to start working on the next album as soon as we can.
Yeah, we'll probably have an album out end of the year.
We'll approach it the same way that we did this one, kind of play the songs 100 times and then see what happens from there.
I think for me also a big thing for 2018 is to really just perfect our live show. We want it to be as incredible for the audience as possible. We're from JANKO and we play music.